Hey now, Blue Jay fans and baseball fans with nothing better to do. Come enjoy the views from the On Fek Circle presented by JFtC and brought to you by the JFtC versus ALS campaign. It's time to retire ALS for good, and your tax-deductible donation in any amount to the JFtC versus ALS campaign is the perfect way to register a strikeout against this devastating, always fatal disease, at least always fatal now. Go to support.alsevents.ca/Jays from the Couch. That's support.alsevents.ca/Jays from the Couch to make your secure donation. Or if you prefer to wear or display your support, you can go to the Jays from the Couch Red Bubble shop. We have shirts, we have hats, mugs, clocks, all kind of home decor, cool things for your cell phones and laptops. 100% of the profits go directly to the ALS Society of Canada. And those donations, no matter how you do it, they may help patients afford a wheelchair or transportation to their medical appointments, or just to help a family in general living with ALS a bit more manageable. So we thank you in advance for your support and help us say feck you to ALS. I am the Fekless Wonder, the madman across the border, Steve Fek. Welcome back to another edition of the On Fek Circle. It's a special show tonight. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm really, really excited. I'm not my usual grumpy, grouchy self. We're going to be bringing in Lawson Griesner Fletcher here just a little bit. He was on, if you remember, back during the off season, we talked to him about his Blue Jays fandom, his viewpoints. And I think it's important to get fans' viewpoints out here on the platforms that Jays from the Couch presents. You can always type in your question, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, type in your question during the live broadcast. Myself and Lawson would be happy to answer those questions. It is a conversation. It's just not me rambling all the time. I do ramble, but I'm old, so I really can't help it. So you have to give me some leeway and some slack in advance there. Before we bring Lawson in, I want to throw out a ceremonial first pitch, and that is about our Facebook group, Blue Jays Talk for All. It's been a blast all season. Not only are we talking, at various times throughout the day, we have a live chat going on during every Blue Jays game. We have kind of rotating people in and out as far as Jays from the Couch hosts go, but we want you to join the group. It's free. We want you to give us your opinion. We want to know what you're thinking and what you're talking about. So if you're on Facebook, go to Blue Jays Talk for All, join the group and join the conversation. Well, it is now my true pleasure. I mean, I had so much fun when Lawson was here back during the offseason. I think it was during February. So let's bring Lawson in right now. He's going to, hey, Lawson, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
What's with the Kansas City Chief and Baltimore Raven thing?
Well, I just have I don't really know why I have the Baltimore Ravens thing. I guess because I really like their logo.
It is a cool logo, yes.
I have Chief stuff all over my room.
Yeah, well, your mom is a Chiefs fan, correct?
Yeah, and me too.
Yeah, good, excellent. Yeah, well, I mean, they've been terrific. So Is it Patrick Mahomes or is there another Chief player that's your favorite?
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's hard not to root for that guy. Is there anything that you want to let Blue Jay fans know about yourself or about your fandom before we kind of get down to the meat and potatoes and the questions we have lined up for you?
Well, I'm Lawson, and I was on earlier in the year in the off season, and I'm a big Blue Jays fan, and my dream is for them to win the World Series.
And you're predicting, and we'll get to the predictions a little bit later in the show, but you're predicting they're going to make the World Series this year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You feel really good? Yeah, that's awesome. Are you going to be able to get back to Toronto this summer? I thought I saw something on Facebook that maybe you guys might be going back.
We're going late July, but we're not going to a Blue Jays game. But hopefully, when we're there, hopefully we'll see them roaming the streets and we'll get to say hello.
There you go. Absolutely. So, well, I mean, you can always watch them on TV. There's
Yeah,
something about even rooting for a team, even if you're in that city, it's something kind of cool about watching them on TV and watching all the local stuff. Now, I realize that you get Sportsnet, so you get most of the Blue Jay games, but it'll be kind of cool to be able to still watch the games. But that would be awesome if you ran into somebody in the street, Jordan Romano at the 7-Eleven.
That actually would be cool. Like if we were in like the town, the food mall, like we just saw one of them.
Yeah, exactly. You going there with your grandfather?
I don't think that he's coming, but
okay.
But yeah, we went when we were in there earlier this year when we were in Toronto. That's pretty much where we went to eat all the time. Was the food place, the food court. Yeah.
Excellent. So the first time you were here, we were talking to you from the viewpoint of if you were the general manager. Because again, for a long time I've been saying I'm the shadow general manager. I don't know how do you feel about like Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro? I mean, do you like the job they do or?
Yeah, well, obviously I would be the best manager ever.
Well, yeah. I mean, that goes without saying,
I think they're doing a good job, and I hope they win the World Series this year. I'd be really happy.
Excellent. Yeah. So, I mean, so you gave us a lot of insights. I remember you were talking about a lot of different players, from the general manager standpoint. But tonight we're going to talk about your John Schneider. Or you're sitting beside John Schneider and Dan Magdalene. You can whisper in the ear about things that you want to do. So that'll be some of the questions and everything we talk about. Now, I know you're a regular viewer. You watch all of the podcasts, and you pretty much what's going on with Jays from the couch. And Keegan Matheson, the beat writer for MLB.com, was on a little bit earlier. And during his appearance on the podcast, he had a lot of, I think mostly positive things to say about the Blue Jays. Was there anything that Keegan had said that really struck you as like, yeah, he's right. I really believe that, or nah, I'm not too sure about that. Anything when you watched the Keegan interview that popped up?
Well, I forget what he said, but there was one thing where I was like, that's a bit of a hot take. I think it was like, I forget what it was. I think he said something about like how like in the this, I don't know if he said this, somebody else might have said this, but I'm pretty sure it was him because I fell asleep. But like, I think he said something about like how he thinks that they might win the series against the Rays. And well, we all know what happened.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, there's a lot of good things that are happening, and I know that you're watching the podcast, and I know you've tuned into this show here on a pretty regular basis. When I come out, it seems like I'm being negative, but really what I'm trying to do is say, hey, look, the Blue Jays have come full circle. This isn't them rebuilding. This is more like 2015 when they really they should have gone to the World Series in 2015. They made the playoffs in 2016. And going back, you're too young to remember the Blue Jays winning back-to-back World Series, but that's kind of the general vibe that's going on now.
Yeah.
Here, so
like I get there's still 130 games to go, but like I think it's going to be a hard thing between them and the Rays for the AL East. Like I get they sit behind the Baltimore, but that's not going to stand.
Well, I have to agree. I think it's going to boil down to in September, it's the Rays and the Jays, vying for the division title. When I did my FECU projections, I said the Rays were going to win the AL East. I didn't know they were going to have this start.
Yeah.
And again, you're way too young. Your moms are probably too young to remember 1984 very clearly, where the Detroit Tigers went on a ridiculous run in April and in the first 2 weeks of May, and they got so far ahead, even though the Blue Jays had a better record from like May 15th on, they just couldn't catch them. And it makes me a little nervous as as a Jays fan to see the Rays just continue to win and win and win. But you seem pretty confident that the Jays are going to find their way. You're not. I don't want to say afraid of the Rays, but you don't think that this big start by the Rays is going to make much difference.
And I get they're like 20-3, but they're from Tampa Bay, so we all know they're going to choke. So,
we were talking off air about Del Samaris has a question: who is Lawson's favorite Blue Jays player, and also the favorite MLB player who isn't with the Blue Jays?
This is hard. My favorite Blue Jays player. I think I said this last time we were on, and I get. It's gotta be Vladimir Guerrero. I have his jersey. I like George Springer, but Vladdy's he's just a bit above George Springer. But probably my favorite Blue Jay of all time is definitely Jose Bautista.
Joey Bats. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, my grandpa brought me a little bobblehead of him when I was like 3, and I just loved him ever since then.
He was a great player. I mean, he was in Pittsburgh 3 different times. The Pirates had him 3 different times, and every time they, designated him for assignment, or then they traded him to the Jays, and that's when his whole career changed and took off. But yeah, Jose Bautista is an underrated baseball player. So do you? Dos Amaris also asked, who is your favorite player that's not a Blue Jay? Like when you're watching games, I mean, it's natural to root for players that are just good.
Like I'm a batter guy and a pitcher guy.
Okay.
And the perfect guy for that is Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani.
So he's probably there. I forget his name, but the guy that's on the Padres, the young guy that was on the cover of MLB The Show the other year. Forget his name though.
Fernando Tatis Jr.?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like him. I like the way he plays.
Yeah, he's just coming back too, so that's going to be a big thing because he was suspended.
Yeah, because didn't he get hurt last year?
Well, he got hurt and then he got suspended.
Yeah, but it'd probably be between one of those two, and like in the final of Japan and the USA, like he played really good in the US. Yeah, and I like him, and he's like the other year when he had all those home runs and all those strikeouts and stuff like that. That's those were stats that you put out in a video game.
Right.
And, yeah. So he's probably I love the way he plays, so I'd probably say him.
Okay. Do you play MLB The Show or any of the baseball video games, or are you not a video game?
I play all the other video games. I watch people play it, but I've never had the time to really get into it. But honestly, I kind of like to, because now that I'm really getting into baseball, me and my uncle throw the ball outside sometimes, and I used to not be able to catch it with the glove at all, but I'm getting better at it.
That's great. Okay, and we got Natasha Fletcher. Lawson is great. Okay, and Lawson, what position do you like playing the most? Love Mar.
Marley's my sister. Yeah. So, what position do I like playing the most? It's really fun to hit the ball with the bat. I don't really have a real bat, but it's frustrating too when you miss the ball because sometimes it'll be a little early or a little late. And I like throwing the ball. I play football, so I'm pretty good at throwing it. And I haven't played on a baseball team, so I haven't really like played actual position.
Okay.
But like the baseball, it's easier to throw than the football. Like not at like the speed that the real players do, but just to like get it off because it's round.
Right.
I'd probably say not really pitcher, but like pitcher because I like throwing the ball.
Okay. So if you had your choice, I know you haven't played yet, but let's say, you join a team and the manager comes to you and says, okay, I'll let you pick what position you want to play. Would you want to be in the bullpen like a closer like Jordan Romano, or would you want to be a starting pitcher? Which way would you want to go?
I'd probably, if I got to pick, I don't know, I'd probably end up being a pitcher if I really played on a team because that's probably my best position is throwing.
Right.
And honestly, I might even pick pitcher or like in the outfield maybe because like I like because like it's fun to like chase after the ball and get it, or maybe like batter. I don't know. I'd love to run the bases. That'd be super fun. And I don't know, but I'm like one of the only Blue Jays players to score an inside the park home run. Because when we were done the Blue Jays game, when I was little, I got to run the bases.
Nice.
And I got to run the bases, and nobody tagged me. So
there you
I
go.
got an inside the park home run.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to let's talk about now. You're in the dugout now, and you're giving advice to John Schneider. And these are not just my questions, but some questions that came. Sean Doyle had some questions and some other people. Now, last night, Sean and I talked pretty extensively about the Blue Jays roster on the podcast. So one of the things that we talked about is they need to pick someone, we believe, to be the regular second baseman, not always having two or three guys rotating at the position. If if John Schneider's coming to you and says, "Hey, Lawson, we need you to break the tie here. Me and Don Mattingly, we can't agree on this. Who would you like to see start at second base? Whit Merrifield or Kevin Biggio, or would you want to platoon him where Kevin Biggio would play against right-handed pitching and Whit Merrifield against left-handed pitching?
Biggio is like I probably like just like he's like he can play. I feel all the bases and like I feel like he could play there. Like I probably have him as my number one guy. But I just think they need one guy that needs to play second base. Like they can have rotation players, but you can't have every second game a new player playing, and it's like the batting rotation, but for second base.
Right. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Sean and I were saying the same thing. We really think that's the one thing, because last night we were talking about, we know the Blue Jays are very, very good, but are they really a World Series team? What little things do they need to fix? And that was one of the things they need to settle on an everyday second baseman. So, your preference would be to have Kevin Biggio play every day, and then have Whit Merrifield either rest him or play in the outfield like he's been doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, something we didn't talk about on the show last night, but we meant to bring it up, and it's George Springer batting leadoff. Now, he's been in a little bit of a slump, so a lot of people are coming out and saying, well, maybe we should move him out of the leadoff spot. Would you like to see George Springer continue to hit leadoff, or do you think they should drop him down in the order and bat somebody else leadoff?
Mm, that's hard. Because, like, in the summer, I was thinking he should be the designated hitter
Hmm.
over Vladimir Guerrero. But I don't know. That's a hard question because he's such a good player.
Right.
But I'd probably leave him where he is for now. And if he slows down a bit, I don't know. I think I'd just leave him there. And, like, if he's really starting to not play well, then do what anybody would do. But, like, not even for, like, a couple games to see how he is. I'd just leave him there.
Yeah. Again, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's when expectations are as high as they are for the Blue Jays, and really, I think for a lot of fans, it's we make the World Series or the season. No matter how many games you win, the season's not successful unless you make the World Series. So if you have a stretch where Springer's 2 hits out of 18 at bats or whatever it is, people are like, "Oh my God, we need to make a change." But no, I agree. He's such a great player, and he's proven it throughout his career, not just with the Jays, but with the Astros, that you can depend on him. So you can't just let a couple of bad games or a couple of games where he's striking out a little bit more deter that. So I agree. I think George Springer should stay in the leadoff spot. The lineup, I think, really is exactly how it should be. One other lineup question, though. And this came up a lot during Blue Jays TV broadcast, and also I've seen it on Twitter and talking to other Blue Jay fans. Because Matt Chapman has been so hot, he's been so terrific all year. Would you move him and have him bat cleanup, which is really traditionally the spot in the lineup where your best, most productive hitter is hitting? Or would you leave him hitting number 5 so he gives a little bit of protection for Dalton Varsho, who's been batting cleanup most of the season? Varsho has been the cleanup hitter. What would you do?
Honestly, I put Chapman at cleanout because, like, he's like, I get he's getting older, but like he's just having a great season.
No, yeah, he is. I mean, this is one of the best starts I can ever remember any Blue Jay having. Not just this.
He's having the season that I thought George Springer would have, like starting out like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of want to put this out here. I get everybody saying World Series for the Blue Jays, and like it's kind of that year, but also if like the expectations should just be higher than blowing an 8-1 lead in the wild card. So I think that if they win the AL East, like they won't have to play in the wild card, and that would be better than last season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if they don't win the World Series, which, like, I don't know, like
Well,
they
it would be disappointing, right? I know it would be disappointing.
It would be disappointing, but if they make it past the wild card, because last year was losing the World Series is way less disappointing than losing the wild card.
Well said. Well said.
So even I think if they get past the wild card, like if they win a playoff series, that would be great.
That'd be great. And you would be happy with that. You would be like, hey, look, okay, sure, we want to win the World Series, but this has been a great season. That's great. I think Karen Suter, who does Sunny Side of the Dome and is on the podcast, I think in a lot of ways she would have that same viewpoint. If they can win a playoff series or two, yes, you want to win the World Series, but I think that'd be a great improvement. It's just another big thing for the future. So some great answers there. If anybody out there has questions for Lawson, just type them in. In fact, there's one right here. Natasha Fletcher's back. Lawson, what is your Blue Jays hot take?
I like this one. So Vladimir Guerrero for AL MVP. That's my hot take.
Nice. Do you, again, the year that he lost it to Shohei Ohtani, I still say, as great as Ohtani was, he should have won the MVP. Do
Mm.
you think, watching the games we have so far, that he's having an even better series, a better season than 2021? Or do you think that there's still more that we haven't seen yet from him?
Well, then again, like I said earlier, there's 130 games left of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he started out good. If I had to pick somebody right now, I might pick him if the
Yep.
season were to end right now.
Right.
Like, honestly, I think a Blue Jays player would end up winning it. Him, Matt Chapman, but I think that he will end up winning it. And like, I kind of disagree with you on that Vladimir Guerrero should have won it in 2021 because Shohei Ohtani's numbers that year were just incredible. And then he did it literally the next season. But I don't know, like he had so many home runs.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of started slowing down a bit. But if he didn't start slowing down a bit, he would have had like maybe even a 50 home
50
run
home runs.
season.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought he was going to hit 50 back in 2021. Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. The big reason I wanted to have you on is that too often it's like old guys like me that are always doing podcasts and talking about stuff and complaining about stuff or whatever it is. But too often, the younger Blue Jay fans, the future. In fact, my shirt says the future of Canadian baseball is now. It's a shirt from like 2018 that came out that when Vladdy and Biggio and Bichette all first came up. And I think it's important that young fans like yourself have a place where they can talk about their fandom, what they think, because in a lot of ways, you're looking at the games differently than I am. I mean, I remember watching baseball as a kid. There were no Toronto Blue Jays. So in a lot of ways, I'm a more old-fashioned kind of guy. So for you to be able to come on here and give your opinions, I think it's terrific, and I'm really glad you're there. And one more question from Krishna Rao. Lawson, welcome back. Great insight. Christian Rao from the Rao Report. Dulcimeris, what are Lawson's opinions on the pitch timer, limited pickoff throws, larger bases, and shift ban? So all the new rule changes this year. Do you like all the changes? Do you not like one of the changes, or
I hate all of them.
you do?
Yeah, especially the larger bases. Like, what was the point of that one? Like the pitch clock. Like I think it was a guy on the Yankees. He had like a 21-second strikeout or something like that. But like the pitch clock, I guess it's better but like usually you have a clock for like time wasting, but you're not gonna have time wasting in baseball. Like you're gonna take up time, but you're not wasting any time. But like I don't really know what the changes were for, really.
Well, it was to speed up the game because now it
Yeah.
takes less time to play a 9-inning baseball game than it did before the pitch clock. And in the minor
Yeah.
leagues, they've been doing this for a long time. So that's really interesting because Major League Baseball is doing it so that young fans like yourself are more likely to watch an entire game or sit down. But for you, you just liked it the way it was. You don't really think that
Yeah.
pitch clock. I mean, the larger bases, honestly, is more a way to cut down on injuries.
But like the people that were really getting injuries were like the people who do the fancy slides and stuff. Like really, like can you not like do you have to really like cuz like I think that they should if they're going to make any rules, I think that they should make a rule about like maybe not make the bases bigger, but like maybe like it's hard. Like the rule changes, I kind of take back on what I said. I don't really hate them, but I just think I get they want to speed up the game with the pitch clock, but I just think you don't really have to do them. I think you could just leave it the way it was last year.
that's, I mean, it surprises me, not coming from you, because I would think that, again, you love baseball, so you love the entirety of baseball. But I mean, I think it just goes to show that maybe Major League Baseball is reading too much stuff in there. Lawson, I could talk to you for another 2 or 3 hours, but our time is up. I want to thank you again, for coming on with us. Is there anything that you want to say before we close out the show?
Well, I wanted to put in one more like hot take. I don't really think this one is more of a hot take because I think it has better odds of happening than Vladdy winning the AL MVP. So that's why I didn't really put it as my hot take.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to you before the show. I think that Bo Bichette could have a 30-30 season. Like with every stolen base, he gets a home run.
Yep. Yeah.
And
that could absolutely happen. When did you feel that way before the season started, or are you starting to this start to come to you as you watching him play this year?
well, yeah, and I saw it on an article, so I kind of took it off of that too. But like, he every year he gets close to it, and I think this year he's gonna get it.
Lawson, again, thanks for being here. Please come back. I want to have you back throughout the season. Maybe around the All-Star game, we can have you back and kind of get a lot of your insights. I love talking Blue Jays baseball with you. And thank everybody out there for tuning in. Don't forget, On Fek Circle every Tuesday. And one more question. Lawson, we love you. Mama and Mar. I think everybody loves Lawson, and we are definitely going to make you part of the On Fek Circle and the Jays from the Couch team here going forward. So again, thank you for being here. On Fek Circle every Tuesday, live 6 p.m. Eastern time. Sunny Side of the Dome with Karen Suter is on Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, The Mothership, the Jays from the Couch radio podcast hosted by our senior editor, Sean Doyle. That's Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for tuning in. Keep your questions coming. I'll make sure that any questions that pop up on YouTube or whatever, that I relay them to Lawson so he can get answers to you. Lawson, we'll talk to you again soon. And thanks for tuning in to the On Fek Circle.
All right, you too.